Hi, today I'm going to react to The Byrds. It's like pronounced The Byrds, like, ah, except it's with a Y. Okay, I've reacted to one Bird song so far. This request came with a tip, a large tip, a generous big spender tip. But it's for 5 songs. So let's go with number one, 5D. If I can't record them all now, they'll be split. But let's see. I have to teach a class in like a little bit. So I think I have time. If they're all 3 minutes long, we can get through them all. This one is called 5D. Here we go. Apparently it's 1966. Do 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 do. Go back in time. Go back in time. Okay, here we go.
Oh, how is it that I could come out to here and be still floating and never hit bottom and keep falling through, just relaxed and paying attention? All my two-dimensional boundaries were gone. I had lost to them badly. I saw that world crumble and thought I was dead, but I found my senses still working. And as I continued to drop through the hole, I found all surrounding to show me that joy innocently is. Just be quiet and feel it around you. Opened my heart to the whole universe, and I found it was loving. And I saw the great blunder my teachers had made, scientific delirium madness. Oh, I will keep falling as long as I live, or without. The place that is now, that has ended before the beginning. Oh, how is it that I could come out to here and be still floating and never hit bottom and keep falling through, just relaxed and paying attention?
All right, solo. All right, fade out. That's a nice song, very palatable, very easy to listen to, has like nice melody, nice harmony. Um, it did remind me of how many roads must a man walk down before he call him a man. But then it changed into its own song. It sounded a little bit like that, and then I'm like, oh, it doesn't. I liked it. I wrote some cool notes while I was listening to that. I said the scientific delirium madness was a really cool line. And I was saying, I think I would have rather, if I could go back in time, I'd rather be like 15 to 20 years old in like 1965 to 1970 than 1975 to 1980. I can't explain it. I just feel like it was a really iconic time. Um, I don't know. I just love the music from the 60s, I think. By the way, someone requested me to listen to the Janis Joplin at Ball and Chain at the Monterey Jazz Festival, and I can't find their email address or anything because I looked through all my tips and I was like, where is this tip? But then I usually email them, but I already reviewed that in a video called like San Francisco Psychedelic 60s or something. So if you find that person, let him know. His name was DeGreen. I never found him again. All right, Wild Mountain Thyme, of course, the spice, which reminds me of parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. He once was a true love of mine. How about a lyric video? Because then I can know what they're saying since they're British. And sometimes you can't understand their words. But I generally do understand their words. All right, number 2. Wild Mountain Thyme. Thyme, whatever. Ooh, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Nice.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and the leaves are sweetly turning, and the wild mountain thyme blooms across the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If you will not go with me, I will surely find another to pull wild mountain thyme all across the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pull wild mountain thyme all across the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? The purple heather, will you go, lassie, go?
Wow. I love when I forget things. So apparently the Byrds are American, formed in Los Angeles, and honestly that makes more sense considering everything. The type of sound they have. It does sound very LA late 60s. I can't explain it. It just does. But why are they singing about go, lassie, go, and the heather and the weather and the nice harmony? But I love those thick harmonies they had there. Ah, na, 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 na. Apparently they're really famous for the song, to every season turn, turn, turn. There is a reason, turn, turn. And that makes sense now because these songs sound just like that. And a place to, a time to walk, a time to hate. Next one's called What's Happening? So they went from folk rock to psychedelic rock, according to my tipper, who gave me a whole guide on the Byrds. I liked that one. Remix. What's happening? What's happening? This is very popular. Ooh, they have... Okay, let's see this one. It looks like it's from the same album that we've been listening to. Okay, Los Angeles psychedelic. Well, so they're a folk rock band at first, and later they became psychedelic. That actually makes sense to me because remember that the Doors were also active from 1965, and they were also heavily LA based. And I'm very into the Door. Come on, come on, come on, touch me, babe. But way more psychedelic from the beginning. Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name? See, that was a more bad boy kind of band, the Jim Morrisons. These Byrds seem like nice little choir boys. Like you could put their poster up and your mom wouldn't be upset about it. It's like, oh, they're so wholesome, you know? All right, what's happening? Usually songs from 1966 about what's happening have to do with something about like war. But let's see what this what's happening about. Maybe it's about, hey, Peggy Sue, Where are you? Or why are you going out with that other guy? Who knows? We'll find out soon.
I don't know.
Oh, different.
Who you think you are? I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know how it's supposed to be. I don't have the vaguest notion whose it is or what it's all for. I don't know, and I'm not crying, laughing mostly, as you can see.
Resolving that repeat the suspension. Yeah, that was back when songs were all 2 minutes and 30 seconds because apparently, records were short and expensive to burn. So they're like, better make the song short so we can fit a whole album. I don't know why. Okay, so I like that song. It sounded very different than the other two songs I listened to. It sounded more like to every season, turn, turn, turn. This one sounded like its own thing. And then it would have this really like clean sounding guitar. And then in the interludes, it had like a more dirty, dissonant guitar solo. And I think that implies the like confusion of what's happening here, a little confusion in your body, and you feel that turmoil. So you get a little bit of like a dissonant guitar solo that leaves a lot of, because there's so much reverb on it, it like lingers, therefore the notes clash against each other and you get that sense. So that was my interpretation of the song. And like I said, it sounded a little bit like some Beatles songs. And again, this is happening in 1966 and like the Beatles are overlapping here. I'd have to look up like which albums came out when. So who knows who copied who on various albums and all that. But I really liked that. Okay, the next one is I come and stand at every door. And then we have one more after that. I come and stand at every door. Wow, people have like put on there's so many like Byrds channels of people just putting up Byrds stuff. That means it's going to be reactor friendly, so that's good. Apparently it was originally a Turkish poem translated by Jeanette Turner and then adapted by Pete Seeger. Why does Pete Seeger sound so familiar? I mean, he must be in the Byrds, but what else did he do besides the Byrds? Okay, this one's a full 3 minutes instead of 2.5 minutes. Oh my God, how will we even handle that? Sarcasm. Okay, let's go. You know when I listen to like Fish songs, they're like 25 minutes long. Okay, this is easy.
I come and stand at every door, but no one hears my silent tread. I knock and yet remain unseen.
It's in three.
For I am dead, for I am dead. I'm only 7, although I died in Hiroshima long ago. I'm 7 now, as I was then. When children die, they do not grow. My hair was scorched by swirling flame. My eyes grew dim, my eyes grew blind. Death came and turned my bones to dust, and that was scattered by the wind. I need no fruit, I need no rice, I need no sweets, nor even bread. I ask for nothing for myself, for I am dead, for I am dead. All that I ask is that for peace you fight today, you fight today, so that the children of this world may live and grow and laugh and play.
I don't think there could be a more depressing topic for a song than Hiroshima from the perspective of a 7-year-old child who died in the nuclear bomb and then his ashes were scattered in the wind. I mean, that's like a pretty dark topic. I was reading about the poem, and yes, it was originally Turkish, and then it got translated, and it was done by the Byrds and Pete Seeger. But yeah, that's like pretty depressing. And at the time in 1965, Hiroshima was just like 20 years prior. So that means everybody in the generation was basically living in the world, the post-World War II generation of having experienced that in the world. There was some interesting classical music pieces I listened to about like the bombing of Hiroshima. I forget which ones they're called, but they were very like symphonic and creepy. And yeah, it's definitely it's a crazy thing, both Hiroshima and Nagasaki, to think about it. That, because I went to Japan this summer, and it's crazy to think that, well, now we're 2025, so that's like 80 years ago. So it's a lot farther away than it was in 1965. But it's just crazy to think that the world was in a place where the World War was so, it was like so threatening to the US. And like once Pearl Harbor got bombed, that they're like, okay, we can either keep fighting and like send in all these troops and try to do this and that and whatever smaller bombings, or they're like, or we'll just drop a nuclear bomb on 2 cities and kill 200,000 people when you count in all the aftermath and the cancers and everything. And they're like, well, and then the calculation of like, well, by killing 200,000, we're going to save millions by ending the war early. It's like such a strange, like, ethical problem. It's like, and I wonder why they bombed 2 cities and not just one. That also, I'm wondering. I forget if it was like a test thing or like they're like, in case one doesn't work. I don't know exactly why, or they just wanted to make a bigger impact to scare them to surrender. I'm not sure, but it's crazy. It's crazy that bombs of that size exist. So that's a really effective song, like emotionally. But it's only because I studied American history so much that I understand what it means. I think a lot of people today are so disconnected from World War II, especially as we're losing the last of the World War II vets, the people who actually fought in World War II. They're like really old because my grandfather died. They might already be all dead or like almost dead because my grandfather fought in World War II and he was a young man in his 20s then and he died in his 90s. They might all be dead by now. I mean, people and like the last Holocaust survivors are dying, so the child survivors now. So yeah, we're losing every connection to World War II of someone who lived in that time period. Therefore, you do have to teach the history so that we don't repeat it. But yeah, that's a really beautiful poem, and what a way to set it to music, and so effective because again in 1965 I think I'm not sure exactly like when did the Vietnam War start. Let's see, like when did the US get involved? It started in 1955. Okay, but probably the US dates US 1950. Okay, but it peaked in 1969. Okay, so we're like peak Vietnam. Let's see, what about draft years? Vietnam War draft years, August 1964 to 1973. Okay, so then that's, yes, so we're talking about like 1965, people start getting drafted in 64, and they, yeah, and then it's like, oh man, war is really bad and all this stuff. Okay, we have one more song. Hopefully it's not as depressing as a song about a child who burned at Hiroshima. But you never know. Okay, let's go to the last song. Ooh, 3.5 minutes.
Touchdown, you'll find that it's stranger than known. Signs in the street that say where you're going are somewhere just being their own. Nowhere their warmth to be found among those afraid of losing their ground. Railway town, known for its sound, in places, small places unbound.
I'm standing alone. Solo. Okay, that song was interesting. The words are kind of deep. I don't know exactly what it's about. It's like 8 miles high, meaning it's the altitude of their flight to England, but serves as a psychedelic metaphor for an altered state of consciousness, blending this real experience of air travel with drug-induced feelings and influence from jazz, leading to the association of early psychedelic rock. It was also a nod to the Beatles' 8 Days a Week. Interesting. So do you guys agree with this AI summary that this is about LSD? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Remember, I spent a lot of time learning about the Grateful Dead, and a lot of the Grateful Dead stuff is about LSD and psychedelics. Oh, wow. So we did all 5 songs on that request. That was a really nice request by Anonymous, apparently. So we'll never know. But I corrected myself during this video. We went from me saying the Byrds were British to the Byrds were American, which I think I learned in the first Byrds song that I covered. But because look, I did a Byrds song, Erica Reacts Byrds, and I did, maybe it's only on members only right now. Maybe. Let's see. Byrds. Yeah, I did Chimes of Freedom. So during that video, I probably was like, oh yeah, the Byrds, they're an LA psychedelic rock band. And then I got confused because I was doing the Kinks recently. And I also found out the Rolling Stones were British and everyone got mad at me. So I realized it's just better to say everything's British. And then you can always just say, oh wait, it was actually American. And the Americans won't be as mad about it, but the UK people will definitely be mad. So it's just safer to say like, oh, they're British. And then like, oh, wait, they're American. Never do the reverse. Like when I was like, oh, the Rolling Stones, they're American. They're like, no. And everyone got really upset. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn. That was a crazy. Those songs went from like being like nice and light to being about Hiroshima to being about a psychedelic flight. That's metaphoric. So I guess my reaction is the Byrds are quite more diverse than I thought they would be, because I assumed like to every season turn, 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 there is a reason, that it'd all kind of be folky like that. But now I see that they're going folk psychedelic, and I heard a little bit of psychedelic when they were doing their like guitar solos that got a little dissonant. I was like, okay, this is like leaving the folk realm and going into something more psychedelic and modern. Overall, really liked it. I thought they were great. Fun stuff, not all fun, a little bit. Again, it was a really tumultuous time, clearly. And then when I remembered that it's just 20 years after World War II, everyone was still traumatized. And then Vietnam draft started, and everyone's like, we just had a war. We don't want this. And plus, is this war even a threat to the United States? Why are we even in this war? At least with World War II, there was a much more existential threat to the U.S., and it made sense why they got involved. Plus, the Europeans were our like major allies. So, and also like Hitler taking over the world would have been bad for the world overall. So yeah. And then once Pearl Harbor gets attacked, it's like, well, we can't have Hawaii, which is like a U.S. state, be under attack. So yeah, it was bad. So they had no choice. But Vietnam, arguably, why were we fighting there at all? Why was America involved? What is communism that bad? I mean, I think there were a lot of questions. So anyway, we'll talk about that in another video, but the Byrds definitely got me thinking, and there's a lot to learn. Okay, thank you so much for that tip. This was a great, fun video to make because I got to do 5 songs, and I got a bigger, like, breadth, Bredth, breadth, this word, breadth of knowledge by having a bigger sampling of the birds. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please subscribe, and you can request on my link tree. I show it at the end of every other video. I'm not going to do it today. You'll figure it out. Okay, bye.